y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna today show you the paper packs from Not Too Shabby Shop, and we'll make a card using one of them. So here are the two paper packs, and here's the add-on ephemera pack, which is called Tropical Christmas. And here's the Tropical Christmas. It's got flamingos and ice skates and just all kinds of cool little background pages. And I'm just gonna go through a few with you. If you like flamingos, this is your paper pad, I'm telling you. But it's got, lots of Christmassy stuff too. It's got this pretty little candy and this gorgeous little geometric type background with some stars on it, little skates and presents, and all the pretty colors. I love this gold grungy one. That's going to be my favorite, of course. Here's some with little bags and goodies, little Christmas lights, some little pink paper, and it repeats. There are 12 patterns, so there's 24 of each. And here's the ephemera pack, and I'll go ahead and show you a still picture of what you get in the ephemera pack. Lots of candy. Woo! All right, but today we're going to use the Sweet Winter paper pad. And I used my Scan and Cut here to cut out one of the pages, and I'll kind of go through some of the pages here with you. I love this one with the pinks and reds. We're going to use this one. I'm going to try and get this out without ripping my whole paper pad off, which I do most frequently. Anyway, this is the Paper Pad Club of the month for October. And note that you do get 18% off if you do a club repeat. And don't forget to add on the ephemera pack if you want to. And that's the page that I put through my Scan and Cut. Here's these pretty little blue flowers. And I love the cinnamon sticks with the anise and little candies. And then those patterns start to repeat as well. Isn't that pretty with the flowers? Love this one. Gorgeous. So you get 24 double-sided designs, 4 of each design, same thing. And we'll go ahead and get started with our card here. So I'm gonna take my ephemera here, and let me get you zoomed in here a bit. And I want, look, and this card's gonna be a blingy card, so I'm gonna pull out my little snowflakes here. That again, I put this whole thing through my Scan and Cut just because I didn't feel like fussy cutting all of it. You can if you want to. But if you have a Scan and Cut, that's real handy. So I'm grabbing my extra fingers here so I can pull things up out of the way. And I'm gonna lay these out on my silicone mat, my scrapbook.com silicone mat, so that they don't slippy slide around on me while I paint them. And I'm gonna be painting them with this Nuvo sparkly brush thingy, just to get them sparkly. They're still kind of moving around on me. They're very lightweight, so you can kind of expect that. But I'll just get this, and I will list all my supplies down below. All right, got those all sparkly. Let's move those up and out of my way so we can move on to the next step. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be using double-sided tape to make the page all glittery. So let's get this mat out of the way here and grab my page. And I'm going to cut this down to 5 by 3 3/4. And I want the streaks to go lengthwise on this card. You can go either way with them, doesn't matter. And I'm just going to use my tonic trimmer to trim it down. And one tip is when you're trimming, don't rely on the bottom edge, rely on the grids. They're going to be your friend. All right, we're ready with that. Now I need to grab another piece of paper because I'm about to make a huge mess, but it's all good until it gets bad, right? I have here these double-sided papers from Altenew. Now these were larger and I cut them down. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the backer off of one side. It's not too hard to get it off. And then I'm going to make sure I lay this down on the correct side. Flip it over. There you go. You want to lay the sticky part on the side that you want to coat with glitter. Okay, and then I'm thinking I'll put this back on and trim it down. But I'm just going to trim it down without. So I've got it all trimmed down now, and I saved those pieces. And I'm just going to use my bone folder here to kind of mash that glitter in. Or to mash the sticky paper in. And then I'm going to grab, here's where I'm going to grab a piece of paper so that I have something to work on. And I'm going to grab my glitter. And I'll be using the Tim Holtz Clear Rock Candy glitter. I love it for this effect because it's completely transparent. So it's great. So I'm going to pull the backer off here of the other side. And then we're just going to have one big sticky sheet. And I'm using my tweezers to try to get this pulled apart here. Try not to touch it. And I'm just going to dump the whole bottle of glitter on here because it can all get scooped back into the jar, and I'd rather make sure I'm completely covered in glitter. And I'll take my backer sheet and I'll just kind of push down and make sure that that glitter is kind of spread out all throughout. Tap that off best I can. I'm going to lift it up out of the glitter and then tap it off some more. And then I'll go ahead and scoop my glitter back into the jar before I have a complete disaster. I don't know if you've ever had a glitter disaster in your craft room before, but I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty frustrating. And you are cleaning glitter for days and days and years and decades. Now I'm gonna take that same backer sheet that I just pulled off, and I'm going to lay it back down on the glittery piece, and I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish down all that glitter so it's good and stuck to it, and then tap it off really well so that your recipient doesn't get a lap full of glitter, so all the glitter is completely stuck to it. And that's the hardest part. And it's not even very hard, but it's really impactful. So I do want to have a matte layer, so I'm going to cut this matte layer down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to be coloring it with some ink. And you'll see that I swatched several inks before I came on one that I felt like was a good match for the blue in this paper. So I'm going to get my little silicone mat back out again, and gonna pick out a couple of different oxides, but I really couldn't come to one that I felt like was a good match at all. So you have to go through your stash and see what you have, and I finally came on the Simon Hurley Breakup Blue and found it to be perfect. So I used my little magic mushroom to add the color to the edges here. And notice I tapped off in the middle. That was just to tap off any excess ink. But see, isn't that a perfect match? Loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. So anyway, now I'm going to get a white card base, if I can find one here. That looks so pretty, just like that. You could just slap a sentiment on there and be done. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to glue down the blue piece directly to the card base, and then I'm going to pop up the glittery piece, because popping up just makes a world of difference. And I'll just use a tape runner to get that down on there. And it doesn't matter that the edges are sort of cloudy, because so is the rest of the design, kind of. Let me make sure I've got this turned the right direction here. Yeah, got a stringer there. And then just make sure that it's as even as I can possibly get it as a human being. You could use rollers and things like that, but I don't. I just don't. I'm an eyeballer. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some foam. This is fun foam, or, you know, wannabe fun foam. Got a couple of pieces here. It look like they'll probably fit. And I'm going to just trim those down here so that they fit across. And then they have one side that you can pull the backer off and it's sticky. The other side you're going to have to use glue, which is fine with me because it gives you time, you know, some wiggle room to move around the backer piece, to move around the piece so that you make sure you get it nice and even on your page. Yep, I'll get that spit out. Let's make sure those fit. Okay, yep, they do. And I'll just go ahead and flip my page over and stick those on. Those little skates are pretty too, and I love, love, love the shade of blue. It's a beautiful, it's almost a periwinkle. It's not purple by any means, but it has a feel, a purple feel to it. So let me grab my card base with my mat on it, and then I'm just going to use some liquid glue and glue down this piece. Then all we have to do is pop our ephemera on there and we're done. Super easy, and especially if you have some pre-made sentiments, which I do use a sentiment from my stash because I don't have any. I think I have one Merry Christmas, and I really wasn't sure I wanted it to say Merry Christmas yet because it could be just a winter card. So I'm going to kind of just audition the snowflakes on here and then audition my little pieces that I want to use. So I'm going to use the big mug and just kind of look for placement. And then I'm going to use the smaller mug. Mama mug and baby mug. And just kind of move stuff around. And then I'll grab my little sentiment here, which I had stamped out in the same blue color and then heat embossed with some sparkly embossing powder to kind of continue on that sparkle. So I'll go ahead and glue down the snowflakes. And I'm just using liquid glue. The thing is that when you're gluing these things to glitter, you have to give it time to dry because it doesn't make contact, so you need a good glob of glue on there. And I don't mind that the edges aren't glued down. If they pop up a little bit, that's a bonus. Doesn't bother me a bit. Glue this last one down. Again, a good generous amount of glue. And you're going to want that to dry. You don't want to start moving things around until it's dry. I'm going to grab my large mug and it's going to go flat down. It's not going to get popped up. There's only one thing getting popped up on here, and that's the small mug. So, yep, I want that right there. Again, I'm going really generous with my glue here. And I want it kind of over to the right. There we go. Commit. And you may have to lay something flat on there, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna lay something flat on here and give that some time to sit while I put my foam tape. And this is just some scrapbook.com foam tape strips. It's probably my favorite to use just because it's easy. And I do have this sped up a little bit because it's just putting foam tape on. But I do want to make sure I get good coverage, and I want to be careful of my little straw there because it's, you know, it's a delicate piece. And just lay some across here and a little bit here and a little bit on the bottom and a little bite there. And then I press down on something to make sure it's stuck down, and then I'll pull the backers off. Being careful not to bend or break my straw as I pull the backer off that piece. In hindsight, I could have probably cut a few more of those with my ScanNCut so that it would be more supported, but it's fine. Get that stuck down, and all we're gonna do is put down our greeting, and then I'm gonna add some bling off camera because I did film myself, but I knocked over the little thing of bling about 4 times and had to pick it up. You ever have that happen? I just kept bumping it, and all the little ball things were going everywhere, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna show this because it's mostly because it's time consuming on your part. And I'm going to slip this up under there a little bit. So it so our little pretty spices hang over. And then just kind of hold it down for a moment. And again, you may have to go back and push down again to make sure that glue makes contact. And you'll know it made contact when you press down on those and they don't move. All right, I'm going to add my bling off camera and we'll be done with this. I hope you liked this video, and if you did like this video, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to visit Not Too Shabby Shop to grab your paper pads of the month. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a really great day. And I'll show you another still picture at the end of the video. Bye-bye.